fact that that's starting soon isn't centered bothers me every single time I do one of these, and I never think to go back and fix it. Not once. Oh, we do have people. Hello, people. Am I sharing correctly? Yes. Do I have audio? I wonder out loud. Yes. Is it up too high? Maybe. Hello. Would we say the audio is too loud? I call the cops every time, Mike. Every single time. I would never. Though I am playing Disco Elysium, so I guess there's one I would call. And you know it's Kim. Okay. Good, good. Thank you. I appreciate the feedback on the feedback. And also, this could probably do with some derailing, because this is user-submitted content, which my understanding of the web is that means you don't have to do any work. The users just submit the content. Now that's strange that chat isn't showing up there. Oh, yeah, it is. All right. Good enough. Great. So we're doing a Q&A. Because why not do a Q&A about the long-awaited pre-sale? Oh, we're right into it. I like that. Just going to put that aside. And also, I should plan to credit people, I think. Assuming people wish to be credited in such things as this. I'm just going to put down IA 618 for now. We'll figure out the logistics as we go. That is on the list. Let me preamble this a little, which I sort of half bashed out in the back of my head the other day. But let's see. This is showing up okay, right? And it's legible? Yeah, it's as legible as anything, all right? All right. Where? Is that right? 2 days? Yeah. We're... The brackets theme, you say? I am unfamiliar. What's the brackets theme? Do you mean Sublime, or do you mean... Mike, let me put that one down. Please justify JavaScript. That probably covers it, right? And or yourself. That's good. That feels right. Why is array like it is? To whom do we owe? Well, we know who that is. It's Hatsune Miku, creator of JavaScript. What is the brackets theme? I mean, I'm curious. I have a hunch that's not a Q&A question. Oh, no, this is a half-working Sublime thing I installed a long time ago. Oof, yeah, course outline's probably a good idea. Let's do that, because I do keep moving stuff around. I wonder if I could show that. I'm probably not supposed to show Notion on here. Okay. This gives us a couple of things to run through in a second. We are 2 days into the pre-order window. Well, it's not, I don't have to do that. Now that... Remember that time I worked on the Boston Globe? TK persists even now. Now, I've never heard of this Brendan Eish. Am I saying that right? I'm unfamiliar. did this person work with Hatsune Miku on the creation of JavaScript? Or, I'll have to look into this. Oh, I have notes down for this. Now that that's a reference to the Locked Tomb series. Ah, that makes sense. Yeah, over the course of 10 days in December 1995, he wrote various Hatsune Miku lyrics. Now that this thing has gone loud, might be a good time to do a Q&A. Quick, I don't know if it's going to be quick, Q&A newsletter. I bet, folks, it should be. I don't know much about it, but I know, like Minecraft, Hatsune Miku is credited as being the creator of anything where the original creator is somewhat problematic, or more than somewhat. I bet, folks. A few questions that I've been completely not ignoring, that I've blanking on answering. That's a safe. I've been blanking on answering. Having been so deep in the Markdown mines that I've started taking on the power of one of those deep ocean fish, you know, the really gross little guys. The really weird ones. Weird's a safe word to use here in this course where I use the word weird constantly. Pretty good. Is it possible? Now, I'm not saying this is the case, but is it possible? I'm not 100% confident in my ability to focus on writing approximately 1,000 words worth of newsletter during launch week, given everything that's going on. I'm not on trial here. That's probably not a keeper. All right, well, listen. So I write somewhat. Now we're talking. You better believe it. God, do I even cover currying functions? I should make a note. How dare you? How dare you? Listen, I'm not on trial here. We're 2 days into that. I have too many monitors. I have too much looking around to do for all of this. So far as yet, yeah. It's good to see Eric. I tell you, the response so far has been, I don't want this to sound like my fantastic journey or anything, but heartening. Exciting journey? What's the very fluff PR piece thing? avoid, though? Oh, we have a significant number of people compared to the usual. Boy, it's getting worse. That's the problem with these. The more I do them, the more people seem to show up, and then I have to do them. Mind saying I... Well, it's not really. I don't want anyone to think this is a time of crisis. No. Yeah, good. Listen, man, you're the one who hired me, so if you want me to get into the Judge Judy thing, I'll get into the Judge Judy thing, but it's not professional. Andy, have you ever been party to a very real crime? And I agree, I think that's probably AI. How did you manage to keep your roommate from going to prison while continuing to pay rent? This has become a different stream on your 2-bedroom apartment, on your illegal 2-bedroom apartment that you shared with 4 other people, none of whom, including yourself, were on a lease, because there was no lease, because it was illegal. We'll come back to that. I don't know. I couldn't get close enough to Judge Judy. I was going to say I wasn't allowed, but that made it sound like I rushed the bench, which I did not. I was on best behavior in a way. What was I doing? I was trying to have an emotional moment, and everyone right away goes to, what does Judge Judy smell like? I don't mind saying, if we could just bring it in for a second, I needed it. This thing. Alright, that's fair to say. Work, and never mind. So the thing about Judge Judy is that it's arbitration. There are no criminal charges, which is important when your roommate very much steals. Well, no, let me focus. We'll come back to it. It's gonna haunt me for the rest of my life. I found the episode. We have the episode. Oh yeah, it's out of control. Let me finish one paragraph and then I'll yeah. I'll leave out the details. But it's worth mentioning. I mean, it's pretty funny to have been on there. While the end is just barely to sight, there's still a lot left to do. I wish I could find the trailer for it. There was an ad for our episode that started with like, a party on wheels, and then they cut to my roommate at the time saying things that were immediately disproven in what is shaped a lot like a court of law. We're not getting into it just yet. There's still a lot left to do. Unblinking eye contact with the camera. I really appreciate it, he said emotionally. Really appreciate it. I mean that. All right, anyway, fine. I was raised Irish Catholic. I'm not going to get emotional on this. Listen, I'm not on trial here. Speaking of, no. All right. So let's get down to brass tacks. Detailed breakdown of the course. Now that depends on my getting the course shaped correctly. Yeah, we managed to find the episode, the specific episode of Judge Judy. The only clue I had to go on, this is, again, I'm not writing here. The only clue I had to go on was a live journal post from somebody, because my roommate at the time, who became embroiled in the episode of Judge Judy, was MySpace famous. So someone had put up a live journal post saying that they missed seeing him on his episode of Judge Judy on a specific day. So I knew what day it came out, but I didn't know the specific episode. And apparently it's from like one of a couple of lost seasons where the rights changed hands. Yeah. So we couldn't find it anywhere. And not for lack of trying. But we did have a description of the episode based on my having been there. And so Karen McGrain posted on a media archivist specific subreddit. Maybe the Judge Judy subreddit, I don't know this. Asking if anyone had it in their various archives. And years later, someone contacted her through her website's contact form to say, hey, I saw your post on Reddit. Are you still looking for this? Is it this one? And it was that one. And there was me, 23 years old, wearing a gold chain and a shirt from the Express in the mall. Okay, super quick. So the deal was, yes, he did steal a car. Well, he did take a car without permission, and he made a series of choices that were, and I cannot stress this enough, criminal. But these court cases are all public record. The Judge Judy staff combs through public record cases, looks for anything juicy. It was a friend's car that he borrowed without permission at a party. So one day I show up at home from my job at the Singular booth in the mall. And there's like a certified letter with Judge Judy logo on the front of it, of the envelope leaning up against the door to the apartment. And the fine print was that they pay all the damages. It's arbitrated out of court, so no one gets in very real trouble, deserved or otherwise. And they fly the plaintiff and defendant and one witness apiece out to LA to appear on Judge Judy. And I did do that, and they paid all the damages. And he did do it. And it was good television to leave out some details that shouldn't be recorded. And everything worked out. And last I heard, he's doing well in life. And that's the important thing. That is the main thing of it. So really, from humble, not beginnings, but from humble middle parts, everything turned out pretty okay. I can't believe I've told that story here. And I'm not. Maybe I won't publish this video. Anyway, welcome aboard. I'm a professional, and I write JavaScript for a living, and I'm good at it. And everyone should trust me with their learnings, is the main sentence of the thing. Yeah, no, it worked out. And the important thing was, not only did no one go to prison, but we did manage to pay the rent that month, which was hit and miss, depending. So who wants to talk about JavaScript? So Morgan in Discord. I don't know if you're here. I'll fill this in with something better later. Here are a couple of questions. This double bracket notation, I've never heard of it. This double bracket notation is something I have always used for make sure you can find and replace this, which is not super helpful when you're writing about JavaScript on account of how it's everywhere. So That's not. TK, it ain't. But old habits. Yes, good. Let's refocus. So about Judge Judy. I think it engendered in me, it enkindled a lifelong love of creative solutioneering. How about that? Where even when faced with an insurmountable seeming problem, one can still go to LA for free, even though they technically slept through the incident that night, and be a witness. That's the main. She's an arbitrator, so nothing we did was perjury. I can't stress that enough. Moving on. It was good television, and that's all they care about. That's the main thing. Yes, if we sell 1,000 pre-orders, I will genuinely record a video about Judge Judy. I will, so help me, I will figure out how to do video, which, as some of you may have seen from what I posted on Blue Sky the other day, I do not know how to do. I will splice in clips of the episode. Not the whole thing. We won't see the whole thing. We don't all need to see the whole thing and everything that was said. I only had a few lines. And I used the word lines deliberately. Because they were... This was all very organized, what we've done. Yes. 1,000 pre-orders. How many are we at? Probably like 950, 999, if I had to guess. So you could be the one to put it over the line, to deeply embarrass me about my 20s. I can't be embarrassed about my 20s. I was there. All right, last thing about it. The best part is that they were all... So you show up at Judge Judy, and before they start filming, everybody's just at work. Like, it's just their job. It's what they do. It's no big deal. So everybody comes in and they, hey, how are you? How's your weekend? How's it going? And then at some point somebody says, and action. And you watch her face, like... And the bailiff, like, slumps like he's sick of it. Like, just the whole room all of a sudden was daytime television. Like a wave washed over it. And there's me at 23 sweating in a borrowed gold chain because I wanted to look more like a dirtbag because we wanted to be guilty. Because then they pay the damages if it's good television. I've gotten off track again. This is going so good. I should have known this was going to happen. Listen. Why would this course be a good thing for a mid-range developer like myself? We're focusing. You're all being tremendously helpful on this stream. Andy. I'll buy the gold chain from 10,000 pre-orders. I'll go full Mr. T with it. I'll get multiple. Why would this course be a good thing for a mid-range developer like me? Well, we're stream of consciousing now. Is what we're going to do. Because that's the weird stuff. And I stand by that. There are... Would we call it justice as such? There are countless ways to learn about... There are countless ways to learn about JavaScript. The existence... Boy, should I ever have spell check on during this. Of MDN and... Alright, yeah. Thanks so much, Andy. What's JavaScript? Is it good? Is that new? Is that like React? I've heard of React. The existence of MDN and... Yeah, bye. And... Overflow aren't news to anybody. likely to be reading this. If you've Yeah, that's a good question. What do we consider to be a mid-range div? I'm paraphrasing. You're running to an error. This is very loose. I'll go back and clean all this up after. Stop cracking your knuckles. If you're running into an error, you need to make that error go away. Just make that error go away. Well, there's an entire web for that. This doesn't exactly strike the right tone, does it? But The existence of MDN and Stack Overflow aren't news to anybody likely to be reading this. One sentence. If you're running into an error and you need to know why it's happening, or just make that error go away, well, there's an entire web for that. If you have a problem to solve and you need a syntax that does that, see the Y I don't like as much. This is a little dismissive. Welcome to the stream for real. It's not all Judge Judy here. Sometimes it's me floundering. When is it launching? It is early autumn. My mental model has been early October. Let's say early October, and maybe it'll be a delightful surprise if I power through all this a week or two earlier. You've got for that. Ooh, that's a good question. Let's put that one right up front. What are the prerequisites for this course? Good enough. Oh, look at me deciding on formatting on the fly. None of that. See, this is good. This allows me to jump around, which I need because you know I can't focus. Nothing formal, but it's a big plus. Point of doing a quick review in the to each, that's not a proper noun, to each module. Starts with, hey, real quick, this is what an identifier is. I don't want to spend as much time there. Want to, but I don't spend as much time there So I do in the weeds, which I'll use as shorthand for me to go back and fill this in with something a little more clear. Let's oh boy. Yeah, I do need to answer that, don't I? Oh, that's a really good idea for me to answer in this, isn't it? We'll come back to that. And I will try to phrase this in a very diplomatic way. As the really sharp-eyed among you may have noticed in the video I posted, where I said, tools that autocomplete syntax for you. You are still going to have to know how to do this stuff. Making a point of doing a quick review in the introduction to each module. Let's see. What did I... You're looking at my scratch paper here, so nobody actually learned anything from it. So here's the first paragraph of Intro to Variables. Well, okay. First 1 and 2. Let's do a dramatic reading. All right, time to eat our vegetables. I'm certain this is going to be a review for many of you, but it's worth taking the time to go over variables start to finish. Not least of all because there are a lot of details buried in these syntaxes that are easy to take for granted, but extremely important to fully understand given how much of our day-to-day work depends on the humble variable. We'll start with the basics, but we won't stay there for too long, I promise. In fact, here we go. Variable, vocabulary, any percent glitchless speed run. 3, 2, 1. A variable is a data structure that allows you to assign a representative name to a primitive value, or in the case of objects, a reference to that value. That representative name is called an identifier. Mike, I'm sorry, I know you're flinching at some of the language in here. The process of making JavaScript aware of an identifier and defining the scope of that variable, the context in which the variable will exist, is called declaring the variable. The process of assigning that identifier an initial value is called initializing the variable. A variable is assigned with a value with an assignment operator, a single equal sign. The association of an identifier with a value is called a binding. And time. So that is sort of how I'm coming at this in terms of you are brand new to JavaScript. Like, the rest of this is like, sure, you can't have a space in your identifier name. We're going to review a bunch of that stuff right up front, but it's mostly to get into the weird stuff. By value, by reference is a pretty weird thing to get your head around if you're very, very new to the idea of what is a variable. So, but not if you've done some variables. So how do you frame that? Nothing formal, but familiarity is a big plus. These two go hand in hand. So let's keep them near each other. Stop cracking your knuckles. I would say, let's keep it casual, a sweet spot for this course is someone that spend some time working with JavaScript, maybe by way of a framework, comfortable enough to get by. Thank you for the help. Great questions. I appreciate it as usual. Comfortable enough to get by. Able to, what's the best way to say? Some of you will remember the era of go to Stack Overflow copy some jQuery thing or whatever, paste it in, cross your fingers, hope for the best. There is a level of comfort where you're able to look at it in the context of Stack Overflow and not really know 100% what it's doing, but like by smell say, this probably isn't it. And I don't know what is it. But I feel like this isn't. Comfortable enough to get by. Able to. There's a term for this, and it just doesn't spring to mind. Able to, I don't know, make sense of a snippet of code in isolation. I don't know. Do a framework. Woof. How have I put this elsewhere? I don't know if it shows, a little cooked this week. That's nothing. Where's my scrap paper? Let's all look directly. Let's all stare directly at the sun for a minute. How have I framed this? Long, long ago. Don't look at any of these file names. It's not great. How did I put it way back when? Because early on in the newsletter, I definitely said this. Five is an expression, sure. 0.1 times 0.1 is bull. Yes, absolutely. Numeric values used to access elements in an array are implicitly coerced to strings for some reason. Yeah, why not? JavaScript. Well, yeah, why not JavaScript? What happens if you use call to give this a string literal value? You're going to find out. If you're new to JavaScript, you'll walk away from this course with a foundational understanding of the language worth hundreds of hours of trial and error. If you're a junior JavaScript developer, you'll finish this course with a depth of knowledge to rival any senior. Boy, who wrote this? What happened to me? Has JavaScript done this to me? It seems like I used to be able to write. Lo, those many weeks ago. Let's steal from me. Let's keep that front and center because that's pretty good. Boy, I do wonder about me sometimes. I would say the strike zone for this course, this course is for someone. No, it's for a lot of. All right, that's fine. Overthinking it. Spent some. This doesn't even sound like me. Some quality time with JavaScript already. Someone comfortable enough to get by, able to make sense of a snippet of code in isolation. Accomplish tasks using a framework. It's still not the right thing to say. Let's jump around a little. Bill was right. This is more writing than I normally do on one of these. I usually spend more time floundering, and I think I'm trying to get ahead of myself. Do you like your currying extra spicy? Yes. Move that up. Forgot I wrote this. Are we gonna get real here? AI is a thing. How does AI impact the course? First and foremost, it isn't involved in the creation of the course. That reads as defensive, which there are enthusiasts out there, aren't there? Any way, shape, this is for me, or form. I tell you what my fear is. There's a world where putting it in scare quotes. There's a world where I can't keep that. There's a world where AI does away with a long and unpleasant part of the process of learning JavaScript. Floundering. Copy and paste and cross your fingers. The hope this works. The woof. Careful with this one. Stated goal of code autocomplete is to make it possible to have an idea. This is about to spiral. Have an idea for what you want code to do. Tell the machines that, and out pops a minimally, I don't think anyone's going to deny that, viable version of what the prompter leaving that person with minimally viable JavaScript. No. There's value in the flounder. That's what makes a JavaScript developer. Not the idea and not the end result. By automating that away, by removing the process of process of learning JavaScript. This is turning into a tear. I don't think I can include this, but let's see where that goes. Could I haul off and generate a passable application right now? Yes. Could I then tune it up using decades of experience with the language to make it absolutely. Could I do so if I had those decades of experience in the first place? No. The result would be minimally viable, and I wouldn't if my biases are showing here a little bit. Boy, can I ever not include this. I believe that AI fundamentally, it's better at spelling than me though, devalues our work. I believe that it, relying on it, makes us long term will make us worse at our work. I sure can't include this, but at least now you all know the actual score with me. So, first of all, let's remove that. Let's remove that. Let's remove this. But there's value in the floundering. That's what makes a JavaScript developer. Not the end, not the idea, and not the end result. We gain experience like an RPG. Oof, yeah. Now don't I know it? Well, that's what makes a JavaScript developer. I said this in the video. In fact, what do I say in the video? Let's pop open the script that I mostly scrapped. Then and now, the ability to memorize syntax and churn out characters quickly has never been the mark of a truly great developer. Well, yeah, that's... Boy, this is better than anything I wrote today, too. All of 1 week ago. It's been a long week. It's been a weird week having the thing launch. Boy, I'm tired. Anyway, welcome everybody. This was a Q&A and now it's just me going on a big tear about stuff, which is pretty on brand for these. I should do this. I don't know that I will have a detailed breakdown of the course to know if it's going to be anyone's jam in time for this newsletter, but I should make a point of, this should be a future newsletter. This should be a whole one as things start to shape up. I mean, Mike, you more than anyone can tell that I am about to move a bunch of things around because one thing does not necessarily flow into the other in a great way. This course brought to you by the Decemberists. Boy, that's a classic. Oh, what a different age that was. Speaking of JavaScript. That was like peak jQuery for me, too. Team, not wow, team and use. So that's also course outline. Alright, this is its own thing for sure. One whole newsletter of course outline. Yes, AI is a thing. How does AI? I'm covering that up above, but not well. Where did I put my... Yeah, this. Let's... Can I recycle that? Probably not a lot of people who watch the video. And even fewer could probably hear it, given that... yeah, questions might be good. I can't... I should say that, right? Nobody wants to buy something made out of AI. That's for sure. Let me read this first before Mike completely ruins my day with a question I for sure can't answer. I know it's coming. First and foremost, it isn't involved in the creation of this course in any way, shape, or form. Boy, that sounds defensive. It's not, for the record. Then and now, though this is lifted from the scripts, so let's quote this so I can use this later on. I'll tell you what my fear is. There's a world where AI, get rid of the scare quotes, everybody thinks it's real, does away with a long and unpleasant part of the process of learning JavaScript, the floundering. The copy and paste and cross your fingers, the hope this works. There's value in that floundering. That's what we get paid to do. We get paid to get good. Experience makes a JavaScript developer, not speed. Not the speed of their output. We're not paid to type. I can't. I'll come back to this. But at least I got some of this out of my system. So that's no, I haven't. No, I definitely haven't. I added this on Mike's behalf because I was just writing about array. What a mess. '5 was a tough year. Symphony of the Night hadn't even come out yet. So, like, what were we even doing? What was that, 96? The Symphony of the Night? This is in the Q&A. What year did Symphony... nope. Okay, that's fine. Maybe 7? Was that 97? Did Final Fantasy VII and Symphony of the Night come out the same year? What a time to be alive. What are you, a cop? Oh, good. Good. What is the sound of one variable hoisting? If a variable is hoisted in the temporal dead zone, can anyone hear it? Does it make a sound? God, I like to say temporal dead zone. Okay, well, I'm not going to answer all these. It's already noon. Time flies when you're going on a huge tear, huh? Whoops. How long has this been running for? Isn't there a timer somewhere? No? Cool. Good. All right. Well, I'm not going to get things answered, but here are our questions. I'm going to do a whole newsletter about this. Things are still very much in flux at the moment. We go through. Eric, to answer your question, no, I do not offer private classes in JavaScript. Thank you for asking, though. I appreciate that. We could talk. I'm not cheap, though. As we go through the edit. Check and regular style editing process. Once have I do offer those. They are also very expensive. Wait, do you want to... Is there a newsletterable thing about private classes? Is it are you gonna cover... How do you want to frame this, Eric? Are you going to cover? Give me a few more. Things like oh, right, yeah. Like we'll say currying, because that's still a weird one. And it's right there. No can do. I do have to go back over my outline. Couldn't be more obvious that I wrote this. But that's good. I should include a couple of concrete, like the newer stuff. Where's the cutoff? That's a question I bet a lot of people have. Is what is the... Does that make sense? What is the cut off? How do I want to phrase that? Because what I'm not really doing is getting into like... I am doing JavaScript proper. I'm not spending a lot of... I'm not like linking out to can I use a lot. I am saying what does the language support? And like in places I'm saying, you know, in the browser... You know, blank is going to give you back a node list, which is browser specific. But I'm not doing a lot of like things you can use now versus things you should probably wait to use, or like things you can polyfill. I am sort of keeping it, academic's not the right word, but keeping it language focused. It's a cutoff for newness, browser support, etc. I don't know if that'll end up being a real question. I don't know if that is a real question. I probably shouldn't make these up whole cloth, but you know, we're all figuring it out as we go. Regular style editing process, and I mean, it's the developmental editing process, technically. But that sounds a lot like tech editing. Take it from me, a person who has done tech editing at a book apart. The editing and technical review process. Once things have settled a little more. Things are getting moved around for the sake of flow as we speak, and that's not strictly false. I have a bunch of stuff I need to move around today. Once things have settled a little more, I'll do a whole newsletter about this, which, listen, I'll say it. That's probably not a very satisfying answer during the pre-sale thing. What's today? It's Wednesday. Pre-sale, sure. Yeah. No. Yeah. It'll fix your undefined is not a function. Huh? I'm so tired. It's been a long week, folks. It's been a long week, and we're streaming now. Good stuff. Oh, let me make a note in case Sean's still here. Sean likes JavaScript. Is that cool? Yes. No. No. Sorry. Listen, some things are objectively cool. Bowie is cool. Leather jackets are cool. JavaScript, I don't think in a vacuum. All right. Okay. No, that's fair. I haven't been normal for an hour in a long time. Yeah. By which we mean Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. which I do have. That's true. I have stretchy joints. I'm not going to demonstrate on the camera because gross. No one needs to see that. But I am double jointed. It's fine. I'm fine. Experience makes I don't like to say makes you not a JavaScript developer, but I don't mind saying that experience makes you good at it. Not their output. I worry about abstracting away the frustrating part of this job. A phrase I use a lot in my normal life is, you don't do push-ups because you want to get good at doing push-ups. You know what I mean? See, this is all tear. We remove the process of learning JavaScript. This is how I'm going to wrap up this stream. What do I want to say here? You know what? Let's write this like it's not going in a newsletter. Stop cracking your knuckles. Albert Stamos. We remove the process of learning JavaScript. Let's go on a tear. I am writing this course out of spite. See, Eric, I am writing this course out of spite. Stands to make. You know what? No. Here's what I'm actually mad about. Generated code stands to make an entire generation of up-and-coming web developers beholden to the machine. To devalue us, not just in the workplace, the metagame, but in terms of our own developing. That's what I'm mad about. In 10 years, if everybody is using AI to generate the hard parts, to do the throwaway work, the prototype stuff that they're not even planning on keeping, they're not going to know how to fix it. These AI things, they don't meet the bar. They don't generate average code. But the more they get foisted on everybody, the lower the average gets. The more people are using them, the more the company tells John Henry he has to use the Steam engine because it's great, because it helps him with his output, because it's going to get him a promotion, because he works so much faster. The worse we get at JavaScript, and the lower the bar gets, and the better the tools seem by comparison, and the less valuable we become, until why bother having one of us type it into the tool? Why not just use the tool? I am writing this course out of spite because I want us to get good. I want us to get and stay good despite it. JavaScript is hard, and it's hard to learn. And we're going to learn it anyway. We're not doing push-ups to get good at doing push-ups. We're doing it to get stronger. That's how I feel about this course's relationship to AI. We're going to do the hard stuff. We're going to do the weird stuff. None of this can go in a newsletter. But now you all know, and maybe I'll unpublish this video because it's hard to say where conventional definition Luddites like me play into this industry at this point. Rich and storied history, the Luddite. Anyway, so that's our stream for today, I think. Before I get in any more trouble than I'm probably already in. But I appreciate everybody sending me questions. There was certainly enough here that I can come up with something a little more professional. Will I mention the Judge Judy thing? Yeah. Yeah, I probably will. I probably will mention the Judge Judy thing, because, like, you know, if you can't have fun with it, what are you doing? Can I include What Are You, a Cop? You have to tell me, or it's entrapment. We all know that. That's certainly words. Can't argue with that. That's 900 words. So if I could turn this into something, we might be in business here. All right. So gonna private this video, I think. Possibly. But I want to say that I appreciate all of you for joining in, as always. Thank you for all your help with this. And I will see you in 2 weeks for the next one. You will probably see me posting a lot on the internet over the next couple of weeks for the pre-sale. And sign up if you haven't yet, and like and subscribe. Chat, I don't know what I'm doing. Goodbye, everybody.